Okay, hopefully the wind noise won't be too bad. So we're at the beach. He is absolutely, well, I don't say obsessed, very, very, very interested in water. And wait there, I want to be able to come to the beach and to go to places up to the Highlands, into lochs and stuff like that, where he is not completely mental every time he comes out the car and sees water. Wait there, pal. Alright, so you can see here, he is not very interested in me. We're just out the car. This will be his third or fourth time at the beach. I am, yes, good lad. I'm asking him to settle himself. Good boy, well done. And seeing if he's interested in other reinforcers which are available, which is the food and the toys. Now, just now, food yes, toys no. I tried them with his toy to chase and he wasn't interested in that. So I'm asking him to settle down a little bit. Wait there, pal, wait there. Okay, so I told him to wait and then he doesn't get any further. If he had waited and come back to me, that's better. Lovely pup. I give him that feedback. There we go. Good boy, son. Well done. And all I'm asking him to do is work through this so that... Sonny. Yeah, good lad. Wait there. There's a dog running and a ball. Okay, so beyond the room there. So this is challenging for him. All right, and it's... I have to come to the beach with the expectation that this is the work that we're going to do. So we'll probably be out here, we'll do about half an hour or 40 minutes, and I'm hoping to see if we can get down into the water with him paying attention to me. So that's the thought process. I don't know how much video I'll be able to get if I'm working with him, because I'm having to handle him and yeah, good boy, son. Ready? Good lad. Good boy. Yeah, handle him. Sonny, this way. Good boy. So I'm relying on his previous training, this way, to get what we've got already. So moving towards the sea there. Wait there. Wait. Good lad. Easy. So relying on his previous behaviours that I've taught him in order to deal with this as a dog. That's why he's lying down. Okay, so a few minutes later, he's doing okay. Now, what I have to be aware of as well is, Sonny, there we go, son. Alright, this is it's so alluring to him that every time I give him slack, he pulls me towards there. Now, you can see he's big and powerful. I have to then maintain my balance, be aware of my own stuff, because it's not nice being dragged around by a dog at all, which I get. Easy. That's a running dog. I have wrapped this round the ball of my foot. Good lad, that's better. So I've got that wrapped round. It's the ball of my foot that's on both of them. And the line is, good lad, is can be slipping, which is why I put it around both of my feet there. And what I'm aware of here is not reinforcing all these excited behaviours, that he just comes out here and thunders down towards the water's edge. However, it's like holding him back from a massive piece of chocolate cake and never giving it to him. So my thought process here is I'm going to see if I can get away with it today. You find it? Is how much can he do here? How much can he do that I'm asking him to do? Alright, how much of this holding himself on his own can he do? And then trying to reinforce that with access to the water, and we'll see how we get on. Okay, this is a shift for both of us, and that's fine. That's fine as well. Now, what also happens, wait there, pup, is that when your dog is so excited about being out in an environment which he is just now, and he's paying that little attention to you, people think that they've got a dog. Wait there, good lads. They've got a dog pulling an elite problem, or a dog not coming back when called problem. But what they've got is, the problem that they actually have is the dog's inability to regulate their emotions well enough in that environment. So I don't have a problem with him not coming back to me and go. That's how it's physically manifesting. But what is happening here is the lure, or the allure of the sea there, is significantly, in fact, is overwhelming, and he's having to work through that. So you see there, the second he takes this food, he will disappear again. He just goes back to making progress towards the shore. Sonny, right there. Good lad, that's better. Good. Now that's a running dog there on the shoreline, and he held himself, which is why I acknowledged it. So that was nice. Yeah, so I know that although that I'm getting these reps in, you ready? With that, he is not, you see there, he takes that food and goes back to wanting to go towards the shore. And what I'm looking for by putting these reps in is that he stays around me, and then when he stays around me, that's when we make progress towards the shoreline. Yeah, good lad. Ready? Yeah, that one's better. Good. Ready? There we go. Good boy. You ready? And I'm still cueing that there. I want him to come back. That's better. Good lad. Lovely. I'm still cueing that with that verbal cue there. Wait there, pup. Wait there. Lovely. Now that he's a little bit more settled, we're going to make a wee bit more progress towards the water's edge. Wait there. Wait. And you saw there the second I gave him this like kind of, I don't like the expression, but I gave him an inch there and he's like, cool, I'm off. And I'm saying to him, we're absolutely not going that way. Now, he can get, there's frustration potentially building here, which I also have to be aware of when I'm working through this with him. You ready? That's lovely, good lads. So even that turn towards me, I'm going to acknowledge, and just now, because he's blanking me, we're absolutely not making any more progress towards the water's edge. Good lads, I know son, I know. That shake off there is likely to be this way, pup. You ready? Come on. And a running dog. So lots going on for him. Wait there, pal. So I tell him to wait, and then I physically stop him. And the dog's going into the water, which is triple whammy there. The water, the dog, and the dog in the water. Okay, a few seconds later, and you can see him starting to, we're probably going to have to, so I need to make a decision here. Do I go closer towards the water when he gives me a little bit, which is probably what I'll do, or do I move further away and let him calm down again? And he's done really well so far, we've been in for about 20 minutes, so I'm going to reinforce that one with access to the water. Wait there, pup. So we're going to do that again. When he gives me slack in that lead, I'm going to acknowledge it, and then we're going to go towards the water's edge. You ready? Good lad, nice. So that was just a little touch of his ears there, twitch of his ears towards me. This way, pal. Come on. Nearly. Come on. Yeah, good lad. Lovely. There we go. Good, and I'm going to run down with him into the water. There we go. That's not too bad. Okay, so that wasn't too bad. Back in the car, we did about 20 or 25 minutes. Not too bad, okay. What I wanted to do about the debrief with this was, I have to be aware of, I came here today with the intention of training Sonny at the beach. Now, obviously I would like just to come and go for a massive walk along the beach and it'd be nice and relaxed. He's not ready for that. He can't do it. If I was to come to the beach and have that in mind, I'm going to get annoyed and I'm going to get frustrated, because that's what I wanted. So I had to manage my expectations, and I deliberately came out today with the intention of coming to the beach and doing this exercise. Now we are, I don't know how long, I think it's about a 45-minute drive from my house to the beach, so it's not nothing. It's not a lot, but it's not nothing, and I can't do it every day, and I'm actually not able to do it every week either. But bringing him down as regularly as I can, and working through these exercises, and knowing that he has a tolerance for this, which I'll go on to in a second. So he has limitations to how much he can actually do here, and I have to be aware of that and try and work within the scope of that. Alright, now the other point I was wanting to make is kind of his experience going through this now. So that's exciting and overwhelming for him. So I talked a little bit about his emotional response to being in that environment was massively, if not massively contributing to his behaviour. So I didn't have a problem with him not coming back. or pulling in the lead. I had a problem with him being overwhelmed there, and that happens a lot as well with our dogs. Now imagine he is excited and probably starting to get frustrated. Excited, overwhelmed, probably starting to get frustrated. Imagine your dog is frightened or anxious in that mix as well, which he's not, which I'm really lucky about. So when you've got a dog who now can't cope with being out in the world, because not only is it overwhelming, it's actually terrifying, and we get all these problems. So yeah, so that was our experience today. I'll come back down when I'm able to, and I'll do one more thought on this. Okay, the other thing with me, what's going on with me as well is physically that's hard. That's a shift for me. Not only just having to try and video some of it as well, that aside, even if I wasn't videoing any of it, he weighs 36 kilos or 38 kilos or something like that, and can generate a lot of power, okay, because he's got four-wheel drive and he's low to the ground. So that's a shift for me to physically hold him back, and I'm not bragging here, I am physically strong, okay, I lift weights and I'm you know, strong. So however, it's still uncomfortable for me to be wrangling the lead, for him to be moving one way and for me to be trying to control him the other, for when he is at the full end of the lead and he is really driving forward towards the shoreline, for me to physically try and hold him back. And just now, I have tightness across my back. My knees are giving me a little bit of jip today. You know, so just the kind of normal aches and pains are exacerbated by that, and that then affects how I'm feeling. And so I have to be aware of all of these things, so that I need to control myself? Do I need to do some breathing exercises, bring myself back, or do we just go, we're done for the day? Okay, and that goes with him as well. He did really well. I think we were had reached the point of diminishing returns at that point. So I was like, yeah, cool, we're done. Okay, and we got into the water twice. We went in and he had a splash about for a few seconds at a time. The other thing that he does with the water is he grabs a whitecap. So as the surf for what it is, okay, the waves are inches tall, but as the wave is turning, he grabs the water, and I don't want him grabbing a whole bunch of salt water like that, okay, because he'll get sick. So that's what he wants to do. However, I think part of him wanting to do that is him being overwhelmed and excited, and if I can get him calmer around the water, he can just go in and have a splash around and go for a swim and things like that, chase the ball and do kind of normal dog things around the water. So that's our experience today. I'll put all these together. Any questions, stick them in the comments.